Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Faith. If you're new here, I'm an astrologer. I specialize in astrocartography and money readings and much more. But today is an astrocartography video. So we're going to talk about one of the most interesting types of lines I've ever experienced, and just based on clientele, I think it's safe to say that these are one of the most interesting, and that is Uranus lines. So when you visit a Uranus line, I'm gonna just be honest, prepare for things to get a little weird. Prepare for things to be out of the ordinary. And that's not in a negative way, but just know that these lines are very much so like electric, and you normally don't leave the same. So as always, we're gonna break it down angle by angle. Starting with the first one, let's talk about Uranus Ascendant lines. So for the Ascendant line, this is all about you. It's near the first house. This location or locations along your Uranus Ascendant line may have you feeling very bold, may have you feeling like, you know what? I'm ready for a change. Again, like I said, these lines are great for getting you out of a rut. So you may want to change your appearance, aspects of your personality, your style, just overall the way you show up in the world. You might be inclined to change how you move after visiting this line, or even living or relocating along this line. So expect radical change, but your differentness, like your uniqueness, is very electrifying. You are the spark along this line. So it's like you may attract a new crowd towards you, or, you know, people just may notice that you're moving differently along this line. And that is because Uranus is the planet of change. It's the planet of innovation. It's the planet of boldness. It's literally what I like to call the plot twist planet. So expect change here. Expect things to suddenly shift. And that's why Uranus lines, they are interesting to work with, because if you're someone who needs stability, who needs routine, then this could be a bit jarring for you as you explore these different lines. But I think humans are creatures of habit. So I think this energy is great and it's needed in life, especially when you get too comfortable in your routine or just too comfortable doing things the same way. So moving to the second angle, let's talk about your Uranus descendant lines going straight across. So going towards your seventh house. This has to do with your relationships or the scope in which you see other people. I've personally visited a Uranus descendant line, and it's always very, very interesting. I will say you show up differently in your personal relationships as well as your romantic relationships. It's this sense of freedom among all Uranus lines, but specifically in the terms of relationships, it's like you want your autonomy. You may be, if you're not an independent person, you may find yourself becoming more independent or wanting to do things more so your way. Less of a we and more of a I kind of thing. Again, it doesn't necessarily have to manifest in a selfish way, but it's just you understand that yes, you are in relations to other people, but you're still your own individual, right? And so you're really going to tap more into your individuality. Now, romantically, this could often show up as someone who's married. They suddenly don't want to be married anymore. They might want to explore open relationships. Even if your partner, not necessarily married, but that's just like the drastic normal example you get with a Uranus line. So this line can be very challenging for your relationships, and that's not to say that you can't make it work along these lines, but just keep that in mind as you explore these lines, or if you ever relocate to a Uranus descendant line. If your dating life or relationships seem kind of rocky, again, it doesn't have to be romantic, know that it's why, because you're showing up differently. Maybe in your relationships you normally don't show up fully and authentically. That is going to change. One thing about it, authenticity is required along a Uranus line. So if you are normally one to just go with the flow, you won't be as inclined to do that along this line. So all in all, relationships tend to be very unpredictable along this line. If you're dating, then you may attract more unconventional partners. If you're partnered, you may show up more unconventionally. Also, you could just start to attract people who aren't generally or usually your type. Again, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it will be some type of change with relationships. The idea is that you're changing your patterning in terms of the dynamics that you normally show up in relationships. So keep that in mind. Moving on to number 3, the third angle, the Uranus IC. This line is very, very interesting because it's a sense of home, but you're learning that home does not always mean a physical place. Home is something, the sense of home is something that you create. It's actually very hard to settle down, usually, not always, but generally it's hard to settle down on Uranus lines, specifically a Uranus IC line, because it's always this unconscious or subconscious sense of change or sense of uneasiness, because Uranus it wants to move, or it's just, again, it's change. So it's innovation, it's switching things up. It's very hard to create and maintain a routine along these lines. So keep that in mind. Again, the IC line is normally about creating some type of foundation within the home, within your community, within your family. Just expect some type of disruption with the Uranus IC line. Now, it is great if you are wanting to redefine what home means and what community means. This is a line amazing to work with. And again, I'm not slandering Uranus line. I don't think any line is a negative line. Like, every line has its medicine to offer us, but I want to be real with y'all and give y'all the actual pros and the actual con. So a pro of this line will be switching things up and learning what home means for you, what family means for you. What does it mean to lay your roots? Is that a physical thing? Is that, a spiritual thing? Is that a mentality? Is that something that you create on the fly as you go to each and every place? So keep that in mind. Okay, moving on to the fourth angle, the Uranus MC line. So obviously MC lines are all about, success, fame, career, business, etc., etc. So here you are learning to create success through disruption. You are learning to embrace the unknown. You are learning what it truly means to be adaptable, to be innovative, to really be forward thinking, right? Uranus is very futuristic. It rules technology, aerodynamics, or like aircrafts. It also has a hand in astrology as far as modern interpretation. So all of these things, Uranus creates this big shift. It also rules Aquarius, and Aquarius is all about the people, the collective, humanity. So it's this forward thinking that you'll do that creates your success. You're trusting your process. You're trusting your vision before everyone else around you can see it, right? So this is great if you're an entrepreneur, if you're working on a forward thinking project. Think like Bitcoin, think AI, think any type of forward thinking where it's like people have not heard of that, people have not seen that. So this is a great line to work with if you're working on a project for your business where you want to create something that your industry or your niche has not seen before. If you find yourself, coming to one of the locations along this line for work or for business, or if you find yourself in contact with people from these lines, then make sure to really use that energy to create and innovate, whether you're, working alone or with other people, because it can really take you to the next level. You're learning what it truly means to be a trendsetter or to be a trailblazer when you are working with the energy of this line. If you're usually a traditional person, especially in the realm of career or work, you may find that you're ready to break out of the norm. You don't want to follow the script anymore. You want to do something different. Know that that is okay. Tap into that energy in a respectful way, obviously, if you're working on a team, but make sure you're also grounding your vision, because you can easily kind of get away. The idea can get away from you, or the vision can get away from you, just because Uranus, again, it's all about change. Hey, plot twist. All right, guys, so that's my spiel on Uranus lines. Let me know in the comments down below if you've ever experienced the energy of a Uranus line. Do you happen to live on one? Are you relocating to one? Have you maybe visited one? Or even have you experienced or visited a Uranus aspect lines? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're interested in more astrocartography content, I highly recommend that you subscribe, of course, like, and just stay tuned for more content. If you're interested in a reading, my bookings are open for 2026. And I also have an Astrocartography simplified ebook that kind of breaks down each line by angle for you, as well as shows you how to pull up your map, how to pull up a relocated chart, etc., etc. Last thing, if you're interested in creating a vision board with me for your travel of 2026, then I am having a free vision board party on January 30th. It's a Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So go ahead and grab your spot because that will be fun. You don't have to bring any type of materials. It's all virtual. You'll have a virtual vision board. Feel free to get your own physical vision board and just come hang out with me and the gang on Zoom. So I hope to see you there, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.